What's going on, guys? McFarland here. I'm going to give you a rundown for May 26th, Wednesday, May 26th. Let's talk about them water levels. All right, as of Monday, when we last gave you a rundown, 403.24. That's a couple inches over full pool. Tuesday, 403.13. That's another major drop in 24 hours. From Tuesday, yesterday, to today, 403.10. We've kind of almost stabilized. All right, that's not much of a drop. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pen here. This is a drop. This is stabilizing. All right, as we begin to stabilize, praying to the Lord my God that He doesn't bring us any more rain Friday, Saturday, like the weatherman says. As we begin to stabilize, this thing's going to go off. And I mean, maybe better than it ever has in June and July. It should be a later season. I'm starting to graph fish in deep water. They're showing up. It's just late. Everything is so late. There are fish being caught in 25 feet of water that still hold eggs. They will not dump those eggs this year. They're going to abandon it. Potentially, I'm not a biologist or an ecologist, but I'm on that water 6 days a week. This is the worst spawn that we've had in multiple years. They didn't. There was hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of males that went into the shallow water and waited for these females, and the females really never come. All right, there was a percentage of females that did come in. There is a very little amount of fry here and there. But as a whole, for the normal spawn, 40-50% of the fish did not spawn this year. So lake temperatures, about 5 degrees behind what they should be date to date. 71 in the morning, 73.6 by the end of the day. Normally it's 73 in the morning, 78 by the end of the day in my past year's logs, okay? I don't believe we were doing this last year, but next year we'll be able to see. We are definitely off and out of balance for the normal third or last week in May. Next week's weather, if the weatherman's right, is more rain and cooler temperatures by just a few degrees. The first week of June is cooler than the last week of May. It's just weird. So, anyways, with that being said, let's talk about fishing. There is still a little bit of shad spawn. That's been dragging on. I've never seen a shad spawn drag on for 6, almost 8 weeks now. There's still a shad spawn. One day it's there, the next day it's not. And 3 days later it comes back and spawns. It's such a strange season. But there's still some shad spawn. If you're in that area where there's still shad spawning, most definitely can catch them on jerkbaits, top waters, underspins. Pay attention because there's still some pretty good top water action early in the morning. After that kind of dwindles by 9 o'clock, you need to go ahead and start moving offshore. When I talk about offshore, I'm talking about 10, 12, 14 feet of water. Some of those first breaks, the secondary points, the channel swings, the main lake points, the humps, the ledges, the offshore shell beds, that's where they're going to be. And as it gets hot, as soon as the sun burns off these clouds, and we have 3, 4, 5 days in a row, that sun's shining, the fish aren't going to be able to roam around anymore. They're not going to be able to be in any part of the water column that they want to be. And it's going to force them down deeper and deeper into those deep, nice, cool shell beds. Now, I've never talked about that before. But when you get into a very dense bottom with these shells, it's also very cool. It's like a dog laying on a tile floor inside your kitchen when he's hot. So the bass go to these areas for food. We've been talking about that for several years now. But in the future here in summer, they also go because it's cooler water. All right? So now, top water was a bite this morning. Missed a few, caught a few. I did a rundown a week ago. Now let me back up. Monday's rundown, I was talking about the shaky head. And I got sidetracked a little bit. I'm capable of doing that. I talked about talked about some colors. I talked about watermelon candy, dipped tail chartreuse. I talked about a couple of other colors, June bug, and the one that I forgot to tell you. When the sun comes out and begins to shine, I want some red fleck in that. All right? Watermelon candy, red fleck was the third color that I forgot to tell you on Monday. Anything with red fleck. If you're throwing watermelon, have watermelon red fleck when that sun's shining. The next time you're in your boat, pay attention. Tie yourself on a watermelon fluke, look at it in your hand. Drop it in the water and watch what happens when that sun penetrates the water and hits that UV, has the UV effects on that red in the water versus out of the water. It'll blow your mind. In the water, it goes, ping, look at me. Out of the water, you see, well, it's watermelon red. So that's the first thing. My deferred distraction, whatever. That color, sir, the third color, watermelon candy red in the Magnum trick worm. All right, now today, they weren't eating that. They weren't eating any of those three colors. Didn't get any bites on the shaky head. All right, I take that back. We lost one big fish on shaky head. But I had to audible and grind again. And what I want to express to you is about a week or two ago, I don't think I talked about this in a rundown, but I made a post. And I said, in essence, that we were picking Pack's pockets, meaning we were picking Mark Pack's pockets. I want to elaborate on what I meant by that. So when a guide or a fisherman or a local has fished a place for a long enough time, you get some secrets in your back pocket. You have some special spots, a special hole, a special place where you can always go grab a fish or two. Okay? So when I say we were picking Pack's pockets, I don't mean we were actually fishing pockets, but we were picking some of his secret pockets. Now, I was very fortunate enough that Mark shared a lot of those secret little pockets with me. Most of them I stayed out of. With him passing on, we are visiting some of those, and they are paying dividends when the fishing is really, really tough. So that's what I had to do today, was pick Pack's pockets. We didn't catch a lot. We had a couple good opportunities on some big ones, and I saw some really big ones on the sonar. So maybe tomorrow. But let me show you what I was doing. In lieu of Mark Pack, Impact Lures. A lot of you don't know. If you do, Mark Pack was an inventor, and he invented a lot of different things. So you're aware that he actually invented Lake Fork tackle lures. He was the one that designed all those lures, and his friend and good partner, Ronnie Parker, backed him up, and together they developed that line of lures. That's one of the lures today that I was using. A Carolina rig, the old ball and chain Mark Pack style, and I'm going to talk about that. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is the rigging. All right, the longer you can make this leader, the better. Mark liked it at 5 feet. It makes it really hard to throw it at 5 feet. So most of my clients, anywhere around 4 feet is enough. But the first thing it starts with is your 1 ounce egg weight, your bead to protect the knot and make some noise. But this crashes so hard on this knot that if you don't put that bead there, you'll break off a lot. You're going to lose big fish because of it. So the other thing is we're going to use 25-pound big game on the main line, and we're going to tie to a barrel swivel, a heavy-duty 100-pound barrel swivel. We're going to tie a double San Diego jam knot. That doubles the line through the hole, the loop, and gives us that much more strength in our knot. Again, due to this weight beating it up. And I'll elaborate why it beats it up in a minute. I'm going to put 4 to 5 feet of fluorocarbon leader. Right here's 4 feet. Okay? A number 5 or 6 odd hook. And then this particular bait here is a Lake Fork Tackle Lures Hyper Stick. This is a Senko on steroids. This is a really awesome bait that Mark Pack invented. You still can get these today. Lake Fork Tackle Lures Hyper Stick Chartreuse Pepper. How many of y'all fished with Mark Pack and seen him throw this bait or chartreuse pepper? The other bait that you could put on that, and I have it, is of course trusty old ring fry, and I would put that also with chartreuse pepper. I tend to use the ring fry more in the summer. But right now, the deal is you're going to go find the spot you want to fish, the shell bed or the tree line or whatever it is you're going to throw this rig into. And you don't drag it. You do not drag this as a ball and chain. This is imitating a shad, a fish. Okay, it's got segments, patented segments. It swims much more like a fish, or anyways, kind of like a fluke. All right? I want to snatch it. I want to lift and check. No one's there. Snatch it. Pause. Sometimes the longer you pause, the better. I'll give you an example. Today, both my client and I, the client was throwing the finesse. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I was throwing the full rig. My client hooked up with a big fish on the finesse, and as he's fighting it, I throw this down on the bottom of the boat. I help him. He loses the fish. I go back, pick this up, and it's swallowed, unfortunately, by about a 3-pounder. There was blood and everything. I wasn't real happy about it. But it ate that bait, and with that impregnated garlic and salt, it never spit it out. It swallowed it. So slow down. Letting it soak got it bit. All right? So that's the rig here. What do I throw this on? I throw this on my signature MB 7'3", 1225. The 1530 I found is a little bit too heavy and a little bit too stiff to really get a good long cast with this. And I do want to throw this as far as I can, and I want to stay as far away from the fish as possible. All right? Remember, 25-pound big game on the main rod. Fluorocarbon on the leader. I don't need to beat this line. I don't need fluorocarbon here. Just wasting my money. Okay, so 25-pound big game, 20-pound fluorocarbon for your leader, 5 or 6 odd hook. Lake Fork tackle lures, hyper stick, chartreuse pepper, and if the sunshine, watermelon red. Okay, that's the full rig now. Now I'm going to show you what I call my finesse rig. Not a chicken rig. This is a little bit different, but this is my finesse Carolina rig. So the first thing is obviously much less leader. All right, this is even a little bit longer than I like, but usually 18 inches. Okay, this is about 2 feet. I like 18 inches. This is going to be a lighter rig. So starting with the reel. I'm sorry too, by the way, the reels are the same. It's a Daiwa Tatula 150. Okay, 7-3 gear ratio. On the finesse one, I'm going to put 15-pound monofilament instead of 25. Sometimes I'll run 20 if I'm in real nasty stuff, but 15-pound mono. I have the same concept with the egg weight, bead, and barrel swivel. Okay, so everything's the same there, except this is a 1/2 ounce instead of a 1 ounce. And we go to 12-pound test leader, short leader. We go to a 3-odd hook. Sometimes we go light wire. Most of the time, just a 3-odd hook. And in this one, it's the other Impact Lure invention. Mr. Mark Pack, Impact Lures. This is the shad. It's a 2-segmented shad. There's nothing like it out there that, in my opinion, I take that bait and I soak them. I take them out of those packages and I soak them in the Real-Time Rods magic reaction sauce. And man, I'm telling you what, this saves my butt more often than not. I love this little tiny rig. I love the Impact Shad. I love it in the 3 different colors. Your chartreuse pepper, your disco green, and my favorite would be the watermelon magic red when the sun shines. So having fun, guys? I certainly am. This is cool. It's been a tough year, but if you can tell, I'm still having a good time. And that's what it's all about. The Lord has blessed us. We get to go fishing 6 days a week. So super glad and grateful to share all this with you. I truly am very grateful for you. Without you guys watching, there's no one to talk to. There's no one to share this information with. So kudos to all you watching. Thanks to all of you that have subscribed. If you have not, please hit the subscribe button. As far as my future private subscription, it's coming, and we are going to do it. The response was phenomenal. I'm even more thankful and grateful. Thank you so much, all of you that are so willing to do that. Couple quick questions to answer. It will be a $4.99 per month subscription. But as I said, I guarantee even more detail and more content privately. And I'm working on adding a whole bunch more sponsored giveaways. Maybe once a month, my sponsors can do something. I don't want to put too much maybes out there, but there will be a lot of things in that private subscription that you really want to have. It'll be worth $4.99 a month. Come on, I buy lures all the time. Spend more money to catch a fish than that. So I appreciate it. The response was awesome, and do look for that when it comes. Please hit that private subscribe when you can. Maybe within the next week or two, I'll have that up and running. Other than that, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Mike McFarland, enjoying giving you these rundowns and teaching you all I can, sharing the truth with you. If you have any questions, put them below. Give me the thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Stick around and watch me on Friday because we'll be right back here giving you a Friday, May 28th rundown. How about that? I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.